Welcome back to the Pull the Chair podcast brought to you by the Grit Network. I am your host, Parrish Brown, with my co host, Dylan Lima today. How are you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. Today is actually my birthday. I didn't tell you pre-show, but today
That's,
is my birthday,
that's right.
so
Happy
happy
birthday, man. You
birthday to
mentioned it last
me.
week a little bit to me. So,
A little bit, yeah, but it's good to get older. And also we gotta mention that Tyler hasn't been feeling too great. So it's
mhm.
gonna be another two-man show today. Who's to say when he'll be back? He kind of said that's kind of just like for future notice. So uh best of best of luck to him. But also, another sad thing, the Orlando Magic, rest in peace. They they had by far one of the most tragic performances against the Celtics B team last night.
Was it
For
even the
the
B
people
team? It was maybe the
I,
C team. Point.
well, I mean, considering that Baylor Sharman was our top scorer at 30 points, tied with Ron Harper Jr., and then you also had with 30 points, and then
Garza.
Luca Garza with 27, a double-double himself. So Baylor Sharman, mind you, is like the eighth man in their rotation come playoff time, and he's our star player going into
30
a
points.
must-win for the Magic. Like this was a game that you had Franz Wagner with 20 points. You had Paolo Banchero with a 23-point triple double. You had Jalen Suggs with a 23-point game, and you lose to literally the G League Celtics when
That's
they
so
purposely
sad.
weren't trying. Like they weren't even trying. And this is a Magic team that was constantly in the playoff talk. They were consistently out of the play-in and now slide into the play-in because they couldn't show up against a bunch of G Leaguers.
And
So
y'all were just
rest
chucking up threes, man. Like,
well, I mean that's the thing. I mean, like that I think that's the biggest kryptonite with the Magic, where they're notorious for not being shooters. Like Paolo
mhm.
Banchero, PB and OJ, 0 for 5 from three. You had Franz Wagner, 2 for 7 from three. Jalen Suggs is the only dude that actually put up threes and made them at a decent clip, but he went 7 for 15, 8 of
Desmond
17
Bain is
for
the
the
guy
field
they
total.
traded for to hit threes, and he put up a whopping 8 points.
I totally missed his box score because that's how of a non-factor he was in the game. So yeah, I mean, any kind of seriousness I put on the Magic's name, it's gone. Rest in peace from this day forward, the Orlando Magic. I'm sorry that you guys have been eliminated before the play and even started. But yeah.
If we're gonna get into playoff fast, this playoffs have been set. There's a lot to talk about. Kind of even though it has nothing to do with basketball, rest in peace, Garrett Crochet giving up 10 runs in the first 2 innings for our Red Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan, and I just watched him. I didn't even watch it. I knew they were playing tonight, and I knew they were facing the Twins, and I said, "Oh, Garrett Crochet's pitching. It'll be a low-scoring game." I get a random message from my friends. The Red Sox are getting just losing. I'm saying, "Oh, on Crochet Day." So I go to look, 11-0, second inning. I said, "On
It was not
Crochet
his
Day."
day. I mean, like, look, the Red Sox are about as tragic as any team in baseball because, like, again, Boston comes with high expectations of winning, and they've had plenty of that in the past. But it's very obvious that this Red Sox team does not care about, or at least the upper management doesn't. They're kind of just running this as a money laundering front because if this is the best thing you can do with one of the biggest markets and teams that are just legacy, like if talk about legacy teams, the Red Sox are there, then yeah, I mean they're cooked. It's April 13th and the Red Sox are cooked. Like you're losing to the Twins by 10 runs. Like I'm sorry, it's over. I hate to
Man, the
break it
Twins
to
are
you.
doing
There's no
good, man.
help.
The Twins are 9-7. Okay, hold on. Let's not talk too
The
bad about
best
the Twins
thing,
like
the
this, man.
best thing that the Red Sox did last year was trade their star Rafael Devers. They were mediocre at best. This Red Sox, John Henry did what they do best and ship off their best player, and somehow it magically worked. So that's only positive reinforcement for John Henry to look at the rest of his Red Sox teams like, man, who else am I going to trade to spend less money on this team? Because we're not going to win. We're going to play above our standards, but we're not going to win. And then it's just on to next year. So it's just like, yeah, it's just, yeah, all around
You know,
tragic for
I
the Red
could we
Sox.
we could go on and on about Boston sports. Him being a Celtics fan, me being a Red Sox fan. It's just two different, obviously Boston sports. But let's get into the NBA. I'm going to start with this week again, as we have a lot to talk about with NBA playoffs. So we got a lot to talk about with our predictions for the NBA awards. So before we get to that, I want to mention finally, after 2.5 dreadful years, Doc Rivers is not the coach of the Bucks anymore. But not from the Bucks. like the Bucks getting rid of him. He's stepping down as a head coach, and he's still gonna get paid his $40 million next year.
Well, I mean, dude, it was funny because a news report came out recently that Doc Rivers told someone to Google him, and now someone to Google him and say that he's no longer the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
What is he,
But
Chris Agnetti? Like, come on now.
yeah, I mean, like, look, he is the quintessential like when you look at a head coach that coached as long as he did, and is just so much of a one-trick pony as he is. It's like, I mean, like, look, as a Celtics fan, like that 2008 championship, he was the head coach of. He always gets the glory for that. But since then, no one has ever ridden off a single season like he has, where he's just every single stop he goes to, things just fall apart. Same with this Bucks team. I mean, Giannis had a big hand in getting Giannis in the Bucks, and he replaced a coach that was going 30 wins and 13 losses.
Yeah.
What happens? They turn to a losing team. They outright just don't even make the playoffs. And then this year they're not making the playoffs again. So, like you could talk like Doc Rivers can talk big all he wants. And I mean, surely there's gonna be another team that's gonna grab him because it's Doc Rivers. He's been a coach
already
for
on the Hall of
40
Fame.
years. Hall of Famer Doc Rivers on his 35th team because he can't get anything right. Hall of Famer himself. How can you say no to a resume like his? NBA champion, coach of the year, Hall of Famer, choke several 3-1 leads. Like, what can you say? What can you say?
What more do you want? What more do you want from Doc Rivers, man? And this dude took over of a coach that was 30 and 13, the coach that had them win a championship, and in his 2.5 years, he has a losing record with the Bucks at a 97 and 103 record, and a losing record in the playoffs at 3-8 in the playoffs. So he's losing in the regular season, just good enough to make the playoffs, and he's losing in the playoffs themselves. Granted, they both beat into the Pacers. While last year, I can kind of understand the Pacers. The Pacers went all the way to the finals, but the year before that, with Giannis and Dame, you still lost. It was like, okay, so y'all they can't even get past the first round in the playoffs. You did nothing.
I mean, it says a lot to the dysfunction of the Bucks because they've been long in need to blow up as far as an organization goes. Because it's like, I mean, we're clearly doing we're clearly just like we're past the point of like thinking that Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna work out. I don't know how else you could put it. I mean, look, he's a fantastic talent. He is someone that on his best days, he can be an all NBA talent. I mean, he's not at his peak powers anymore, but he's still someone that could still give you well above 20 points a night, maybe give you a double-double and be elite at the rim because he's still that. But he's so he's so like just like I don't know, there's no other way to explain it outside of just like it's just done. Like you're giving him so much money. Milwaukee is not a franchise that could attract talent into the league and I mean into the team and then you just constantly just have this cycle where it's like, all right, I'm only here to see Giannis. We're not bringing anyone else. We're not going to contend. We got to move on. It's either that or you let him go for free at this point because this is just a constant back and forth and it's just ridiculous at this point.
So that's the big question of what if you're in the Bucks, what do you do after the season? Because obviously we're finally getting rid of Doc Rivers. That's the big thing. So now you got problem A done. Doc Rivers got that out of there. So problem B, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Do you keep that man, or do you get rid of him? Because in my eyes, at this point, you get rid of it all. You got rid of Doc Rivers finally. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Probably need to get rid of Darvin Ham too. I don't know why he's there. He brought over Darvin Ham. That was just another bad stuff they did. Need to get rid of him too. But get rid of Doc Rivers. I think it's just time to restart. Get rid of Giannis while you can because obviously the injuries are starting to pile up. He's starting to get injured a little bit quicker. This whole thing at the end of the season where he was talking about how he wanted to play, but the coach shut him down because there was no reason to play him at the end of the season. And now Giannis wants to do this whole be the good guy that he wants to play after doing the whole trade deadline thing. It's too much at this point. Again, if I'm the coach, I told you you're not playing. You can tell me, oh, you healthy, you want to play, you want. I'm the coach. I made a decision, you're not playing. That's it. I just think get rid of him while you can because, like I said, with the injuries starting to pile up quickly, if you don't get rid of him now, it's just going to go the amount you can get for him is going to keep going down at this point. So I just feel like you have to get rid of him now while you can get a good amount back still and just restart the team. You got a Ryan Rollins. I'm not saying Ryan Rollins is just a superstar player, but he's a good player this year. He definitely improved a lot. He's a good player. You at least have something.
I mean, it's tough because you're reaching at straws at this point. I mean, Damian Lillard couldn't play at all this year. Kyle Kuzma was also supposed to be one of like the next guys that was supposed to help Giannis like move on. Because I mean, again, everything since the NBA championship they won was just like, how do we continue this? And clearly, they blew most of it up. I mean, you still have Bobby Portis, you still have Brooke Lopez, you know, those old friggin' bigs. But like again,
Getting rid of Drew
these
Holiday was
aren't.
the biggest problem. Getting
Well,
rid of Drew
yeah.
Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Holiday has shown to be an elite defensive player. He could still score. I mean, like, you know, again, won a championship with the Celtics since leaving Milwaukee. He's been one of the best players on the Trailblazers, not named Denny Avdia. And, you know, I mean, in like, as far as just like, you know, again, just knowing the market you're in, understanding that you guys aren't in LA, you guys aren't in a place that you can't really attract talent. You have to be a place that can develop it. You have to be a place that's willing to, like, you know, maybe it's drafting or maybe it's finding those blue chip play, not maybe not blue chip is the correct term, but just the players in other teams that maybe aren't valued properly and be able to develop them into those types of players. And Giannis was like their one goose, their one golden goose. They got lucky that no one is scouting in Greece and got Giannis. Because if that didn't happen, we would still be talking about the good old days of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oscar
So like
Robertson.
that's Oscar Robertson. Yeah, like those are when you talk about the good times with the Milwaukee Bucks. So I mean, yeah, it's time to reset, and it will definitely hurt for the Bucks. It'll definitely suck next year. Who knows? Maybe they'll get lucky and get a top lottery pick, right? NBA, right? Adam Silver, surely, right? So
Listen,
you know, we'll never
honestly,
know.
how this all works, I feel like they only get that top lottery pick if Giannis stays. If they get rid of Giannis, they're not gonna give it to him. Like, okay, who cares?
Well, no, wait. But we just saw the Mavericks give up Luka Doncic and got the number one pick. So they got to give up Giannis to get the number one pick. Following that logic, Anthony Davis left the Pelicans. Who'd they get? They got Zion Williamson right after they gave up Anthony Davis. Well, see, that's the thing. You have to give it up to the Lakers. That's the problem. Obviously, no one wants Giannis to the Lakers. So maybe that's part of it. You have to feed the Lakers mafia to get a number one pick. But like, if that's what it takes, maybe you just have to sell your soul to the Lakers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, what else? What other choice do you have?
This is the draft to do it, I guess. I mean, last year it's with the Mavericks. They get Cooper Flag. You see what Cooper Flag's doing this year. So with all the talent supposed to be coming out this year, I mean, this is the year to do it, I guess. Like, why not? Why not take the shot?
I mean, the trade deadline sadly passed. So, I mean, look, you have some time in the postseason when you're maybe like when it's a new season.
Not like
you
the
get
Lakers
to the draft. Well, yeah, I mean, they're kind of cooked. I mean, like, I mean, we have some Lakers fans at the Grid Network that are talking sweet about Luka Doncic and the Lakers, and now they got now they definitely got a rude awakening. Considering now you gotta rely on a hobbled
LeBron and Bronny.
Bronny, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton. LA, you guys are in good hands.
Who they just signed, you know? So
my fault for not knowing about that. Yeah, that's on me. Because I know he's gonna be a solid rotation player when they need him most.
Well, less minutes they have to give Bronny, the better, right? Well, that's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, hands up. That's on me, man. That's on me. I should have known. So
before we get to the next one, since we're gonna go into the NBA playoffs, again, and since we're in the NBA playoffs, we're gonna definitely be able to talk about your team. Have you seen Tyrese Halliburton recently, man?
Oh, the shingles situation? Yeah, you gotta like I kind of just found out about this, but apparently he gained a bunch of weight from this. Like, I have no idea what's going on with him.
So Tyrese Halliburton, he just talked about it. I didn't even know if he was gonna mention it or not. But you know, he pictures getting taken of him. He's a real social guy. So like he's out doing stuff. So he got shingles what, a month or two ago? It's been a while because he was watching all the games. He had gone to all our games to that point. And then he got shingles, so he stopped going to the games because he was talking about how painful it was. I was like, okay, I mean, that's how bad the Pacers are, that our injured player is still getting re-injured. Like that's the Pacers here. Like, what is going on? But apparently the medication for shingles has made him gain a lot of weight. He's at apparently in Game 7. He just mentioned about it today. In Game 7, he was 180 pounds. Now, granted, with him being injured with this injury, I was sure he was going to gain some weight, put on some muscle. But he's at 230 now because of everything.
Oh shit! Damn.
And he talked
That
about
was
how the shingles medication, because before the shingles medication, when pictures are coming out of him, he was buff. You could see his arms got bigger, but like you could tell he was in shape. He was just buff.
yeah.
Now he has like the Zion Williamson neck. Like his neck is huge now. And it's just like, and everybody started talking about what happened with him. He literally came out and said the medication he's on for shingles made him gain a lot of weight. And he's lost an eyebrow from it. So what is going on? I said, I'm about to never see
Yeah.
that guy ever again, man.
Yeah, apparently there was like he's getting like rashes or something on his face. Like this was something that was like his whole body. From my understanding of shingles, it's like old man chicken pox where you're just getting bad
Yeah.
rashes, you feel sick, you can't really do much.
And
And
normally opens
like
to people 50 and up, and this dude is 26.
yeah, I mean 50 pounds in a year, like that's not good. I mean, I would imagine like I mean that's definitely not like that's not normal. Let's put it that way. It's definitely not normal,
Yeah.
not something that our star athletes should be doing. And Tyrese Halliburton doesn't strike me as the type of dude that would like goof off per se. Like, I mean, yeah,
Right.
look, you're an NBA star, you're gonna party, you're rich, you're gonna go and do shit and have fun. But like, he doesn't seem like a dude that would just stop all basketball rehab and everything and just magically gain 50 pounds.
And
So
from paying
yeah,
attention to him, it really seems like him not coming out and saying that it's the medication. I can definitely see that because until like a month ago, I mean, he was practicing. He was in the. He was, you saw videos all the time of him in the gym, him shooting around, and you could, like I said, you could tell he got buff. And his arms were bigger. He was a bigger guy. So okay, he might go to the rim a little bit more, but he wasn't like big. It was just like okay, he got buff. The last couple of weeks is like, oh yeah, he's put on some weight. And
see,
so, granted, luckily we still have a whole off season to go. So like, he still has time to fight it. But it's like, man, obviously the battle is tough for him right now.
I do think that luckily, I mean, like, I don't know. It's hard to say luckily with this stuff because you never want it to happen. But like, considering he had no expectation to come back this season, like, it was a wash year regardless for the Pacers. So,
Yeah.
God forbid he had a problem like shingles. It's better that he has it now and he's taking care of it than like if this was just before the season started and
Right.
now he's severely overweight, he can't play, and it's like not like an injury. Like, I don't know. I look at Joel Embiid with his appendicitis, which has happened to him, which is again something that you can't control, something that just magically happened. And for someone like him, who is like notoriously unlucky with injury problems, and this was a Sixers team that was like finally healthy and like
They look
what
good.
Sixers
They were
fans
looking good.
expected when they got Paul George and Embiid and Maxey and Edgecombe and all these dudes together. And now you lose your main guy now to appendicitis of all things, which is crazy. So I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. It's just like random illnesses, like all this crazy stuff. It's
Gotta
strange.
talk
This
for
year
everybody's
has been
health, man.
strange.
Everybody's health is just out of nowhere going away. Like I said, what a year for the Pacers. All right. Obviously, last year we lose Halliburton in Game 7. Miles Turner leaves, which at this point, thank God. Yeah, that happened. But like we go into the season, we lose Nimhard, we lose Neesmith, Matherin gets injured, and then obviously trade Matherin, but Matherin gets injured, Murphy gets injured, we get G League players, they get injured, and now Halliburton gets shingles. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a plague over Indiana right now, where it's like there's gonna be raining frogs. There's gonna be, there's water's gonna turn red, and
The Colts had
like
Daniel
it's
Jones was doing good. His ACL goes away. He's done. It's like all this for IU football to win. That's what happened. Caitlin Clark went down. Just got leaked. Just everything.
yeah. I mean, like, look, there are some truly cursed cities, but yeah, IU at least y'all can hang your hat on that. Fernando Mendoza, you're gonna be number one pick, man. You're getting there. I mean, he had some
everybody.
controversy. He had some controversy. The group chat got a little crazy with what was going on with him. I suggest you look it up. I think I don't like to talk about politics too much, so it's like one of those things. But
Lord.
like, I mean, again, Indiana always somehow finds a way for some shit to mess up. So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, like this year in general, I mean, there's been so many insane storylines. I know we want to do a little bit of a wrap up. Like, that's going to be towards the end of the show of like crazy storylines that happened this year. But I mean, again, it's just this season's the gift that keeps on giving. Even at the end of the season, we have ridiculous injuries and illnesses and
Yeah.
to everyone. No, and no one's safe.
No, it's really it's going up to everyone. So just at this point, praying for everybody's health, especially now that we're in the playoffs. You don't want to see anybody get injured during playoffs. You want to see the best basketball. So now that we're getting into that, we'll wait. Well, I want to save playoffs to the very end and go into the award races before we get to the playoffs, because there's a lot to talk about with awards and who's going to win these. And I want to start off with the big one, the MVP. Now, the MVP, from what I've seen, is between really Shai, Wemby, and Jokic. Those are your big three.
I mean,
low-key, as much as I don't want to give it to him, I feel like you have to still. I feel like Jokic still deserves it. Unfortunately,
really, wow.
I don't.
I'm surprised.
I'm tired of seeing Jokic win it. As much again, I don't have too much against Shai. Obviously, people have things against Shai. I don't have too much against Shai.
That's where I thought you were going with him, because again, he's like the enemy number one this year as far as like stars and the foul baiting that everybody always hates on, no matter who it is, James Harden, you name it. You know,
he's
like
gotten better. To me, and from watching him, he's gotten better with the foul baiting. I think about a year and a half ago was when it was at peak, and it was terrible because this dude was sliding on his knees, throwing up shots. What the fuck are we doing? That's why I got pissed, because like, what was that? Nowadays, I can deal with it because one, it's not as bad, and two, it's more of he's great at getting people out of position. That's what he does. He has a great mid-range shot, which I give it that. He gets in the mid-range, he's deadly. And I mean, he just gets you out of position. And if you get out of position, he gets you. It still can be annoying, but he does get you. But he's not doing the sliding on one knee, shooting off of one leg, falling backwards for no reason. It's like, okay, now you're just doing stupid stuff. So I can respect it more. The reason I don't want, I think Jokic deserves it, but I just don't like it because he does this every year. And every year he deserves it. He's like, every year he deserves MVP.
But it's the LeBron argument. We're having the LeBron argument over again. I mean, like, Jokic leads the league in rebounds and assists per game. The whole league, not his team. The whole league in rebounds and assists. He's not top 5 in points, so he's like kind of like high 20s, I believe.
20, I don't have his 28. Exact, still a game though.
Which is still fantastic, and it's like he's still someone that, you know, he's just a brick house in the paint. You are not moving him. He will swat you if need be if you get in his area. I get it. I just think that storylines play a big part, because like it's not like, you know, like, I mean, I feel like now, especially with sports, it's really have became like, yeah, you're good and all, you put up the stats, but like, how do you make us feel? Who, like, is your team outperforming everyone? And I mean, like, look, I think Shai's a boring choice. He seems like the bona fide favorite on every single betting line. I bet, like, betting that you could look at, you're gonna see Shai at the top, and I think it's deserved, because I mean, again, he's one of the tops in scoring. I mean, depending on if Luka's gonna get credit for the scoring champion or not, Shai would be the runner up. And you look at this Thunder team, and they are practically unstoppable. And it's like one of those things that, like, he's the leader. He's the person that every single night he's not only putting up 31 points per game, but he's very efficient at it. Like, he's not just chucking shots. I mean, we've seen school like Luka Doncic, for example. He's way more of a shot chucker. He is someone that, you know, like, I think that efficiency could sometimes be like misleading, where like, you know, of course, when you're a high scorer, you're going to take shots and you're going to miss a lot. That's just natural. But the way that Shai can amazingly put up like 15 shots in a given game and still get to 30, and granted, he does put up free throws, but funny enough, Luka per game has more free throws than Shai, which, you know, is always the scapegoat. Yeah. So, you know, so it's one of those things that I look at and I'm like, I'm just thinking more down the line when next 5 years or so is going to be the Wemby era. Like we're gonna you say we're fed up with how Jokic was treated and how he had his own back to back. I mean, we're gonna look at Wemby the next couple of
Yeah.
years as long as he stays healthy.
Especially on the
Now that
defensive player of the
Wemby's
year, nobody's competing with that.
no, because I mean, again, because it's like Depoy for the longest time. It's like if you're the best player and the Depoy, you're gonna be MVP. Like like we have like Rudy Gobert was a Depoy for many years, but he was kind of like the filler Depoy because none of the best players during this time were particularly elite at the defense like Gobert was. But Wemby, he is capital E elite at defense, like from the paint to where he could swat you from the 3-point line if he's close. Like again, I've said it before, but the fact that I've seen players take shots they would normally take because Wemby's like just in reach to tip it is insanity. So as long as Wemby can stay healthy, he will be the future face of the league. He will be always in the MVP talks. But I think Shea gets his back to back for the sake of him like cementing his legacy, so to speak. And he's very well on a potential NBA championship team.
100%.
Like starting off 24-1 on the season, mind you. And again, just being amazing as they are, like I just think Shea's that guy. And Wemby's definitely deserving. I think he definitely deserves a conversation, but I do think it is really Shea, Jokic, Wemby, and then everybody else is kind of like to fill out the top 5.
The 2 reasons I put Jokic just above Shea in this year, because obviously Shea is averaging more points. That's a given. He's one of the scoring leader. But again, Jokic is averaging 13 rebounds and 11 assists a game. That's way more than Shai is. Obviously, I'm not going to compare him rebound wise. I'm not expecting Shai to get rebounds, right? But like even assist wise, Shai's a point guard, and Shai's averaging 7 assists a game, which I mean, just under 7 assists a game, which that's still really good. 31.7 assists, like that's really good. But 28 points, 11 assists, and then we talk about efficiency. Shai shooting 55% from the just 55% from the floor, and he's shooting 39% from 3. But then you go
what's
to
his free
Jokic,
throw split? Sorry, what's his free throw split?
And free throws, Shai is shooting 80. I know it's in the 80s. Where'd it go? 86, 87.9. So 88 basically.
Oh, okay. I was thinking he was gonna be borderline 50, 40, 90, but he's not. So never mind.
He's 88. But Jokic, you look at his efficiency, Jokic from the floor is shooting 57% from the floor. And he's shooting 38% from the 3-point line and 83 from the free throw. So it's like, other than free throws, Shai is a little bit more consistent at free throws. Jokic is as efficient, if not a little bit more efficient than Shai is, while putting up more rebounds and assists. It's like, how do you, as a center, how do you do that?
I mean, I think the beauty of Jokic, right, is that, like, I mean, again, he has such a unique play set because, again, he's someone that scores pretty damn well. He's your number 1 scorer. Has the body of like a mini Jabba the Hutt. So again, every board within his reach, he's grabbing it. But I mean, again, the assist is what puts his game over the top because again, you've seen throughout the years many centers be not graceful at all with the basketball. But like I think the best way to explain Jokic is like a polar bear on ice skates because he's just a massive dude that can spin. He'll have your nice post game to fake you out, and he'll do a whole lot of nothing and then chuck up a shot at 23.9 seconds and knock it down. And again, he's cold in the clutch. He was able to beat Wemby in a primetime game recently.
And that's what cemented for me was that game right there. Him versus Wemby, and obviously them two both went at it. Goes into overtime, and then he hits the game-winning shot over over Wemby to win the game. Who's going to be defensive player of the year for the next 7-8 years?
Yeah,
if Wemby can't stop him, nobody's stopping that at all.
No. It really is. Like, I mean, like, so I think it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, Jokic had his time. He had his, like, what, he had 2 or 3 in, like, 4 years. So, what was it, 3, right? Yeah, 3 and 4 years
3.
it was?
Pretty sure he has 3, yeah.
Yeah, so he's set on the MVPs. So,
you give Shai his 2?
Yes, and Andre's 1000% correct. He's a victim of his own success. You get used to it. No matter how good you are, you're there. We acknowledge you, But I mean, LeBron's the same way. So now that Shea got his one, and the Thunder at the peak of their power, Shea's gonna get a second. And then,
And
and then
Wemby's gonna
again,
come
it's
along.
it's it's gonna be Wemby's time. It's gonna be Wemby's time very soon. We're seeing a lot of these like of our stars of the previous generation finally hitting their twilight. So now it's gonna be the era of
Sadly,
foreigners.
golly,
It's gonna be the
sadly.
era of the. I know, because I mean, like, I think when we always talk about the faces, fuck.
You're
Oh
good. You're
no,
good. No, you're good. It's working.
sorry, my headset just shut off on me.
He's tweaking. It's like it's not working. You're good, bruh. It only went out for like a half a second. Oh, never mind. It definitely went out for now. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I was here talking about Jokic. I would go right into the next topic real quick while he gets that figured out, and talk about. Oh, love you gotta love technology, guys. This is what happens when you put everything in technology. Everything works on technology, and then technology doesn't work your way. This is what happens because this is what work looks
Oh,
like.
there we go. I'm back. Oh God. Do you
It
hear me?
only went out for
Hello?
like
Oh
yeah.
no.
I can hear you.
Okay.
It only went out for like a
Yeah.
second at first, and then you said something, and then it went off completely. Like, oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
my headset just shut off on me, my microphone, everything, just for no reason. I mean, my like it should be picking up that I'm speaking and all of that, and I don't know why it shut off on me. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It was just like we always talk about the face of the NBA, and it always has to be a
American player. Yeah, this dude's
yeah,
tripping.
American player. Now
He's losing it.
it's gonna be all Europeans. Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like all stuck in my headset. So yeah, now it's gonna be the year of the Europeans, the era Europeans, and all that. So yeah, now it's your turn to take the floor.
This dude's too weakened right now.
So
I was just saying, this is what happens when everything revolves around technology, man. This is what happens when I'm at work
uh
trying to fix stuff and we have no internet. Like, how are you supposed to fix stuff with no internet? It's so funny.
yeah, I don't know
But
what the hell happened with me, but I should be fine now.
going to the next award, I'll talk about is what's the big topic? Rookie of the Year between Cooper Flag and Con Knuppel. I feel like all year I've been thinking it should go to Cooper Flag. Now, Con Knuppel, great rookie year, led the NBA in 3 points made at 273, with LaMelo being one behind the 272. So we talk about the Celtics checking up threes. They checking up threes. So like, Con Knuppel and Cooper Flag both had amazing years. I kind of felt like it should have went to I should go to Cooper, but then you start looking at it. Con played 80 out of 82 games. So like he was there all season. Cooper missed 12. I mean, he played 70. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists for Cooper Flag. 18.5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Con Knuppel. So like, you look stat wise, it seems like Cooper just has a slight edge over Con Knuppel, but like obviously the Hornets are a much better team than the Mavericks.
Funny enough, I think rookie year is one of those that is unique to like it doesn't rely on the team's performance as much because again, rookies don't really get the same load typically. But like just last week, we were talking about how Cooper Flag was leading in points, rebounds, assists, and steals for the whole team. And the first player, not rookie, but player since Michael Jordan to do that, which is amazing. And again, he's the youngest to have a 50-point game. I think he's just so far as talent and his expectation coming in the league, he's looking to be someone that the Mavericks are set on, and he's definitely going to be someone we're going to look at as maybe the future American face, maybe like depending on how fast the Mavericks develop, who knows. But I think Con Knuppel, the big thing with him was the fact that I think the best way you look at his game is that he was an elite 3-point shooter and he was able to put up a lot of the other stuff too. But for me, I don't know. I feel like he wasn't particularly elite at anything. I think Cooper Flag was able to show in times, especially with how bad the Mavericks were, that he can be truly elite, head shoulders above everyone else. Because even with the Hornets, a lot of times it was Brandon Miller shouldering the load. It was LaMelo
LaMelo.
Ball shouldering the load. So like, I feel like the Hornets as a unit were way better. And I mean, Kyle Knuppel, again, elite 3-point shooter, one of the best 3-point shooting performances ever for a rookie as far as the season goes. But I think
That
Cooper
man has
Flag's got it.
shot. That this year, Con Knuppel, rookie year, shot 42.5% from the 3-point line this year.
Yeah, spectacular. I
That's
mean,
insane. But when it comes to like field goal percentage, Cooper Flag does have him beat. Cooper Flag shot 47 from the field, and actually pretty even. Con Kumu shot 47.5, and Cooper Flag shot 46 points. So barely. Con Kumu actually
well, what's
barely
the
has him beat.
attempts? What's the volume on attempts? Like who's shooting more than the other?
Cooper was 8 out of 17, and Con Canupa was like 6.4 out of 13. So Cooper
I
definitely
mean, that's
shot.
a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
So again, obviously Cooper Con is a 3-point shooter, and Cooper is a more of a slash and gets the basket type of guy who can shoot. He can shoot anywhere, but he gets the basket. But also with that 7 rebounds, that's something Con Canupa isn't consistently doing. I just think multiple 50-point games. You have to give it to Cooper Flag. And if it wasn't almost any other year, Con Canupa could have this, but multiple 50-point games.
Yeah. And the Hornets have been a great story. I mean, they've been a very feel-good story, especially when they're just a consistent bomb dweller team turning it around. But I think it's just when you see what Cooper Flag has done with this crap Mavericks team, and yes, they have been a bad team. I think just simply already establishing being the guy and leading the team in pretty much every significant statistical number can only prove that you were truly the best rookie because no one else on that team was able to outshine you in any way.
Yeah. The next award, which this is probably gonna be really quick because there's no really debating on this, obviously, Defensive Player of the Year, going to Wemby. The dude's averaging 3 blocks a game and a steal a game. And like I said, that you're not competing with that. I mean, rookie, Defensive Player of the Year is kind of just set at this point. As long as he's playing, he's gonna be Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna sound like a broken clock, but it's just like you're not safe around him. No matter where you are on the court, if he's within like a 2 foot radius of you, he's gonna use his 8 foot reach and just swat it away. And again, having the grace of the guard at the size of 7 foot 4 cannot be understated because it's just not normal. Like I remember when the Celtics drafted Taco Fall, who was like a 7'6" guy, which is again 2 inches taller, but was actually like a real center sized guy that was actually big and he could barely move. He was not someone that you could reliably have for long periods of time. And a lot of times with very tall centers, you reach a point as far as a human where you're too tall for your own good. And Wemby had the blood clots last year, which is kind of a concern, but this year, luckily, he seems to have gone past it and doesn't seem like it's going to be a recurring issue for him. So, again, it's just a matter of can he stay healthy? So if he stays healthy, it's future DPOY for 5 years at least. He's going to destroy Gobert's DPOY record, and for good reason. Because, I mean, again, no one likes him. And no one wants to admit that he was a good defensive player. So why not let's just have Wemby sweep him for like 5 years in a row and then forget about Rudy Gobert? I'm all for it.
Sounds good to me because that's the only time you ever heard about Rudy Gobert was at the end of the season. Oh, Defensive Player of the Year is Rudy Gobert. You're like, oh yeah. Rudy Gobert.
It's like you could say 50 bad things about his games. Like, hey man, but look at his DPOYs. He was really good around the rim. It's like, yes, man, sure, okay.
So last 3 big awards that we're gonna talk about. Coach of the Year. Now, we kind of talk about this, so I know where you're gonna head. I mean, you got to stand behind your team. So I will let you take it with Coach of the Year and who you have.
I mean, like, look, I'm gonna keep it short so I don't sound like a ad nauseum homer, but I mean, the way that Joe Mazzulla took a gap year Celtics team and turned them into a number 2 seed team, like, again, it's like we lost Kristaps, lost Drew Holiday, which were crucial players of their finals run. You lose Tatum because he ruptures his Achilles, and honestly, I don't think anyone really expected Tatum to come back. He only came back because the Celtics were contenders. And
look at the Pacers. We are Tyrese Halliburton tore his ACL, granted a little bit later, but still in the playoffs. And look at us. We are the second worst team in the league. So
yeah. And Jaylen Brown is the only star for this season. Like he was putting up MVP type numbers. He's a top 5 MVP. Like I would say he's 5th on the MVP in my opinion. Like I know people would probably put Kate Cunningham over him. People probably put Luka over him before he got his whole injury and everything. But Jaylen Brown was right there. And again, he had no stars around him. You had Peyton Pritchard, you had Derek White. Nehemias Cato was the number 3 center on the roster last year, became a fantastic starter overnight. And then a lot of these young guys who otherwise never really played on the team all stepped up and became crucial pieces. Luka Garza was a throwaway for 4 years, and then all of a sudden came to become a solid rotation piece.
Top 30 on the Magic,
Yeah, I mean, like, I think last night was the icing on the cake because you took a bench team and beat a starting team, that a playoff potential starting team, fully healthy with
Yeah.
backups. Like, there's no other way you could put it. I mean, like, Paris, please talk about someone else that's not Missoula. Like, I know, like, I feel like Missoula, I think you agree with me, but like, who else can we brainstorm that maybe should get it?
The only other coach I can firmly say can put up a competition with Joe Mazzulla is JB Bickerstaff and the Pistons head coach. Just because, and granted, the Pistons were good last year. Last year they were the number 60. They were 44-38. So it wasn't like they're a bad team. They were good, but they took that 44-38. So all this East Conference that was wide open because again, the Celtics are even supposed to be here. So the fact that they're here again, kind of surprised. It was really the Knicks, the Cavs, and what else was going to be the East. And they saw that had Cade Cunningham get injured at the end of the season, he missed a good 2 weeks. They lost a total of 3 games without Cade Cunningham and go 60-22. And they were first place in the East, start to finish. Like there was no fighting for it. They were number 1, beginning of the season number 1, end of the season number 1. Lose Cade Cunningham for 2 weeks, stay number 1. So like that's the only other coach I can say really can put up a fight with Joe Mazzulla. Because again, Pistons were a good team. It wasn't like they're a bad team, but they took that and ran with it this year. Like I said, just the Celtics. I mean, the Pistons were a good team that you didn't think would just be this good. The Celtics were this what they weren't supposed to be here at all, and they number 2 in the East. So like,
yeah, and I think I do agree with you right now. Looking at Sports Illustrated, FanDuel Sportsbook odds, JB Bickerstaff is the favorite at -260. Missoula is at 220 underdog. So, I mean, like,
close.
Look, the Pistons, and like we talk about team performances, that the whole point of the coach is to make sure the team performs at its best. And considering wire to wire, best team in the Eastern Conference, and losing your best player, don't skip a beat. And, they made some critical moves. I mean, Jaden Ivey was someone that was important, a rotational piece on the Pistons. They traded him just at the right time before some precarious situation found
I'm telling you, man. So he went on his whole tirade. I guess they got a message before that because, like, they said, wait, I see it coming. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine the writing was on the wall that maybe things weren't the best for him because, at the end of the day, it is a business, sadly, and, and the Pistons got sold off at the perfect time. And they are like, I can't fully quite wrap my head around the Pistons. Like, they kind of, to me, feel like the team that, again, overachieved based off of the lack of competition in the Eastern Conference, but you still can't understate them. So yeah, I do think Bickerstaff definitely is very well deserving as well, and might very well will win it. But
it's close.
I'm sticking with Mazzulla, baby. I'm still sticking with my guy.
It's really close with that one. And then the last 2 awards, NBA 6th Man of the Year. Now, who do you have winning 6th Man of the Year?
Well, I mean, it's just there's one man. His name is Naz Reid. And he was the OG. He was the OG self-named nickname guy because Naz Reid is that guy. I don't like. He's someone that, like, when I look at bench players that probably shouldn't be on the bench or maybe are on the bench and that's where their best situation is. I mean, Naz Reid is that guy. Like, he plays like he's a starter. He averages 13 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 45% from the field. And he's not afraid to shoot. And then not to mention he's someone, 36% from 3, which is very solid considering he's a larger guy and shouldn't be shooting as much as he does. And then he also averages a steal and a block. So 2 stocks on the year per game. So, he's someone that impacts every single line, and the Timberwolves have been a fun team. So I'm all for having a fun award, and I think Naz Reid is a fun guy.
I like that pick. I was looking at Keldon Johnson, but when you compare Keldon Johnson and Nas Reed, funny enough, Nas Reed has him beaten like every stat by like one. Like he's averaging just a little bit more points, a little bit more rebounds, a little bit more assists. So like he has him beat. The only other person I can see that competes with that is Jack West Jr. from the Heat. Because Jack West is averaging 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on 50% shooting.
Yeah,
So like,
I mean he's solid. I like that Heat team was also like they were a very weird team this year. They kind of fell in a real bad way. Like
83
this was
points.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean again, Bam Adebayo, Bam Kobe Bryant Adebayo, yeah, putting up an 83-point game is definitely by far the highlight of this Heat team. But I think we finally have found the limit of Pat Riley with them, where it's like,
It's the play-in.
how
That's what they're
long
gonna
can
be.
you run it? Well, they didn't even make it this year. That was like their baseline is the play in. I don't think are they in it this year or did
Yeah,
they
they're
just
in it.
really miss it?
They're in the
They're in
play-in.
it. Well,
Like I
yeah, I
said,
mean that's their baseline.
that's the
They're
thing. They're playing every
Eric
year.
Spoelstra is the Mike Tomlin of basketball. Had
Yikes.
his one championship
Yikes.
early, consistently takes under-talented teams to playoff-like conditions, will definitely over compete, but then you also have an ownership management that can never put a good team around you. So, like, I give a lot of credit to Spoelstra because he does a lot more with a lot less. But I mean, I don't know. Jaime Jaquez, he's not like he's never someone that jumps off the page when we talk about the Heat. Yeah, I mean, like there's not really much nice to say about them too. At least the Spurs are a fun and exciting team, and Keldon Johnson was able to hold the fort despite injury problems plaguing them throughout the year. So, you know, Keldon Johnson kind of get like the popularity pick, I guess. But I think Nas Reed, he definitely I think is definitely going to be that guy this year. Finally,
Nas Reed's a player you don't think about, and I feel like Nas Reed's a player you overlook all the time until you actually pay attention to the Timberwolves. You're like, oh yeah. Nas Reed's out there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like the Timberwolves also, they are a team where they are a tortured fan base for like the Timberwolves, and they, again, you have your star in Anthony Edwards, you have a good team, like you know, the Timberwolves are definitely an underrated team where they have a very solid base around him to have the promise of making it to the third round. Like that's been their ceiling so far, and I mean, it's unfortunate they're always outgained by better teams. Like they're never the best team, but they're always one of the most exciting electric teams. And Nas Reed is definitely a big part of that. And then again, Julius Randle's been playing well. Rudy Gobert doing Rudy Gobert things. They also have was it Jaden McDaniels? I think is also on the team too, who's very
they got Kevin
good.
Durant. We got Jaden McDaniels.
What can I say? But then there's no more else to say.
That's what Ant would say. That's all I kind of
Ant and then they got Ayo DeSumo over the trade deadline too. So now they have a little guard depth on top of everything, which is always something that was a problem when Anthony Edwards is on the court. Like who's gonna facilitate the ball when he's not there? So yeah, I'm all for Nas Reed.
Now, last award before we get into this playoff talk, and obviously this week we're going to talk mainly about the play-in just because we're at right now. But last award, most improved player. Now, funny enough, even going into the show, I was thinking Jalen Johnson is my most improved player because funny enough, I didn't know too much about him before this year. And then this year he drops a double-double per game, not too far away from a triple-double per game, averaging 22.5 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists a game. So I was like, that guy is definitely most improved. But then you compare it to last season. Last season, granted, he only played half a season. He only played 36 games. But in those 36 games, he averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds. So
yeah. Okay.
He only played half a season, but in that half a season, he still was really good. Obviously, now this year, he's averaging more points, even more points a game, 3 more assists a game, while still doing the rebounds. So obviously he still got better. But like it's not as big as a jump as I thought it was gonna be. So now
who are you thinking then? Who's
it's for me, now that I see that, it's tough because at this point I think funny enough it goes to the other Hawks player, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Because that dude is a defensive menace since 2019 when he got into the league.
Mhm.
Until this year, his highest points per game in a year was 13 points a game. Because again, he was a defensive guard. He can play great defense. He can get some assists, but like that was a defensive guy. Then this year, all of a sudden, they get rid of Trae Young. Jalen Johnson becomes the star, and at point guard, he drops 21 points a game this year. Where the fuck that comes up?
Yeah, I mean, quite literally, he was sixth man of the year, sixth place in that last year with 9 points per game.
Yeah,
and now he's a 20. His best year was 12 points per game. Actually, technically 21-22. He was like, yeah, but
just at under 13. And now, that was what 5 years ago. He's dropped 13
Almost,
a game, and now out of nowhere, again, the last 3 years he averaged 6 points, 8 points, 9 points, 21 points. 21 come from.
Yeah. So it's crazy because I do think this is probably the most intriguing award because it's very rare that you get two most improved guys on the same team. And I can't stress how crazy, like, how they just gave up on Trae Young. And not only did they give up on Trae Young, but they literally gave him up for nothing. The Hawks looked at their team of Alexander Walker, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, were like,
Dyson Daniels isn't cool.
Dyson Daniels, who can't shoot for shit. I mean, mind you, he's someone that is amazing on defense. He can score sometimes. And when you look at his 3-point, like I want to look at his 3-point numbers, I may throw up live, and that's something no one wants to see. So the Hawks looked that up and said, "We're good, Trae Young. Have fun in DC, brother." And
Dyson Daniels, okay, he averaged still 12 points a game. I'll give him that. 12 points. Okay, 12.7 rebounds, 6 assists. So like, okay,
it's solid.
Cool.
I mean, it's solid. But then you look at the
3-point percentage was 18% this year.
I was gonna be like 27% maybe, and even that is bad.
He took 1.5 3-pointers a game. He had like 18% this year, so he didn't even try to. He's still kidding.
I mean, like, it's resting on your laurels because again, last year he was a borderline decoy guy, and he's like, you know what? I think we'll just go defense. Offense, I'll do it when I need to. But like,
last year, he shot 3 threes a game and shot 34%. He was okay.
That was respectable. Even falling to 30 wouldn't be ideal, but you would live with that. But 17% on 1.5 threes per game. See, most nights he wasn't even making a 3. Most nights he wasn't
even trying. So, don't even worry about it.
I mean, now I'm just picturing him like setting off the side of the backboard. It'll roll off. It doesn't bounce off the rim. It'll roll off the side of the rim. Like that's. I imagine how bad he was missing. Where he's like, "I'm good, guys. Catch me on a layup, sure.
I'll play some defense.
I'm good, man. I'll play defense. I'll diamond out because I may be open for the 3, but I'll get the better shooter to shoot for me. And I'll get some dimes that way. If that's cool, we'll get the points. Not through me.
We'd rather have that than Trae Young. Yeah.
And I do think that Jalen Johnson, because I mean, also too, we got to remember that John Morant at one time was the most improved player one year. So, like, by definition, and also this is like second, third year Ja when he was like fresh off his rookie year, playing amazing, and then his second year, like, oh yeah, most improved. Go ahead, dude. Have a nice little award for you, son. So, just the fact that Jalen Johnson became the face of the Hawks just like that overnight, and he still thrived in that role, I think that's good enough. But by definition, Nickeil Alexander-Walker should be, considering you jump 11 points per game in 1 year, and just responsibility in general.
All the people deserve it because Jalen Johnson, again, averaging a double-double, just under triple-double. But then the other 3 players other than Nickeil Alexander-Walker is Jalen Duren, who's averaging 20 points a game this season. In the last 2 seasons, he dropped 14 and 12, and this year he was at 20, still getting the same amount of rebounds. So it's like, that's pretty good. And then the other main guy that I really like is Ryan Rollins, because that dude is now, honestly, obviously they have Giannis, but other than Giannis, the only other player you really know on that team is Ryan Rollins this year. And this guy came in Last year he dropped 6 points a game. The year before that he dropped 3 points a game. And now this year he's dropping 17. So
and you know what? Someone else I'm going to throw out there because I think it definitely should be that name should be in that is Deni Avdija. Like again, no one thinks about the Trailblazers. Yeah. No one ever really respects them in any meaningful way. But the fact that Deni Avdija became an All-Star this year in his fifth or sixth season? He was drafted by the Wizards in 2020. So he's 5 years, finishing up his 6th year. And he went from being a single point averager per game, jumped to 14 in 2023, 24, 25, he went 16. And then this year at 24.2 and an all-star. So because he got the all-star nod and the point jump, Deni Avdija may be a dark horse in this. So I do think this is going to be the most crazy award where it may be very split up in who is deserving. So there's a lot of deserving guys.
Deni Avdija is the reason Portland's even in the playoffs right now. Because Portland made it the play-in somehow. And literally Deni Avdija and Jrue Holiday. That's their team. It is Deni Avdija, Jrue Holiday, really. So
that's a fun fact. That's a fun fact for me. I even realized they snuck in. I mean, I know they were probably well in there for a while considering the tanking situation, but it's amazing that they somehow got there.
And so let's wrap up. We talk about that. Let's get to the playoffs. Playoffs are firmly set. Playoffs, the play-in games start tomorrow. So everybody stay tuned for that. In the playoffs, what we're looking at is your first round in the East. Obviously, you got the Thunder #1 seed, Spurs #2 seed. You got the 3 seed Nuggets versus the 6 seed Timberwolves. Again, that's always going to be a series to watch. I will be watching that. And then you got the 4 seed injury old man LeBron with Kid Bronny versus the Rockets. It's been like that all season. It was Lakers and Rockets, and here we are.
Yep. It is a series foretold.
And then on the East, you got number one Pistons, number 2 Celtics. Again, down your Celtics, break your Celtics, number 2. You got the Knicks, the number 3 Knicks facing the number 6 Hawks. Forget the play-in, the Hawks made it in completely. After being 29-37 midway through the season, they are the number 6 seed, and you can't sleep on them. I have the Knicks at least pulling it out, but the Hawks can take them at least 5-6 games. They're gonna push them. It's gonna be a good series.
Look, I have a friend that's a Hawks fan. God rest his soul. He's somehow cursed to be a Bengals and a Hawks fan of all teams. He had one of the most cursed fandoms ever. Give me Jets and Nets before or any New York terrible shit team or Minnesota. I'd rather pick a shit fandom than personally choose teams that are shit and will always be shit. But again, back to the Hawks. He was saying that of all the teams to face in the top half, he said he'd rather play the Knicks. And I think that's very fascinating because the Knicks, I mean, they beat the Celtics a couple days ago and they played about as perfect as they could. Yeah. And when the Knicks are on their game, I mean, it's very hard to beat them. But, I mean, I do look at the Hawks team, and they got the length, they got the defense. They have a lot of ways to match up with the Knicks. I do think it just comes down to, is their defense strong enough to make sure that Brunson is taken care of? Because I do think the Knicks, they start and end with Jalen Brunson. I mean, they're always going to have to rely on a hot hand. When the Knicks beat the Celtics, they needed clutch threes from Josh Hart at the end of the game, and Josh Hart's not known for being a shooter. He's not known for being a shooter, but he had some OG Anunoby, someone that you can never keep open. He's the most quiet dude on the court, so he's easy to forget about. But he is deadly from the corner. He's fantastic at the corner 3, and he will make you pay if you don't guard him. And then Cat, he'll have his spurts where he will be very good. So the Hawks will have a handful, and I think it will go maybe 6. I think they have the potential to shock them. We have seen the Hawks shock the Knicks in the past, but that was with Trae Young. That was a Trae Young team. This maybe we'll see.
Josh Hart, funny enough. I have a hate. I do not like, and it's funny. I do not like Josh Hart, the basketball player. I'll say it right there, because every time I see him talking to the media, talking outside of basketball, he seems like a hilarious guy. That dude seems like I would love to hang out with. But I personally can't stand Josh Hart, the basketball player, because and not even because he's bad, it's because he's smaller, but he out rebounds the entire Pacers team every time he faces them. Him himself out rebounds the entire team, and then
Hmm.
let it be a close game. Out of nowhere, Josh Hart's the deadliest 3-point shooter you've seen. That pisses me off because who are you? You are not a 3-point shooter. Till the very end of the game, he's like, oh, actually, I'm gonna hit this three now. It's like, really? Are you serious?
I mean, like, I think that the craziest thing about the Knicks is that they were a team forged and fire with Tom Thibodeau, and now they don't have to worry about playing 40 minutes a game anymore. So now they
Yep.
could like actually take some breaths, which is huge. But you know, I think growing up, we've all known like that one small pesty kid that was like a super try hard, and he may have been nasty. But you know, you didn't like it
Yeah.
because like everybody wants to be competitive, have fun, but there's always someone that takes it a little too far and not in a cool way. And like when you have Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges known for being high motor, high effort dudes that will give you a little bit of everything, but won't be particularly elite in any scenario. And then you throw like a Jose Alvarado in off the bench,
Golly.
who's
Yeah.
also a pest in his own right. Like you're gonna have so many different things coming at you where I don't see the Hawks knocking them down, but I could see that being a great series. But then now going back to the West, I mean, we're looking at all these series. I mean, I was talking about for a while that of all the teams the Lakers would want to face in the first round, they would want to play the Rockets. But now without their best players or two of their three best players, I mean, like, do the Lakers fans even want to be in the playoffs anymore? I don't know. Like,
I
it's
wouldn't. You got it looks like you got LeBron and Bronny versus the Rockets. Like that's just not. You didn't get LeBron and Bronny versus anybody. That's just not gonna work. LeBron. Now here's the thing. One of those games, LeBron is gonna have a LeBron game where he somewhere goes off for like 30 some points. You're like, really? What type of LeBron
That's
is this?
game one. That's game one. The Knicks will be 1-0. I'm gonna hear Barry's friggin' mouth in the group chat. Be like, oh, the Lakers are gonna win. And then they're gonna get gentlemen swept in five. Write it down because that's 1000% what's happening in that series. Because I mean, again, you're gonna want DeAndre A and Rui Hachimura are gonna be crucial in your front court. Marcus Smart is going to be your main guard. Where again, I love Marcus Smart to death in the Celtics. I almost fell on my knees at Top Golf when I saw that he got traded for Kristaps Porzingis. It was by far the best thing that could have happened for us to move on from Marcus Smart. Because now, like, just a couple years removed from being our main starter, deploy on a
Mm-hmm.
finals run, he now averages 9 points per game, 2 rebounds, 3 assists,
Yeah,
almost averages 2 turnovers per game.
you don't hear that dude's name
I
ever
gotta see
again
his shooting
anymore at
splits.
all.
I gotta see his shooting splits, bro, because he's also someone that's known for chucking the ever living shits out of the basketball, and it
But
killed
he
me
can't shoot.
4 years.
He can't shoot
39% from the field,
from the
33 from
field.
3.
Oh God, from the field.
39 from the field. 3. So he takes 3 shots and he makes 3 shots, takes 7 on average. He shoots almost 5 threes per game, and I'll be
Golly.
generous and round up and say 2, but it's 1.6 to 4.7,
Why is this
which
dude?
is a very generous roundup. But he's
He's
a
always shot
33
way too many
per.
threes. Yeah, he was.
Look, I mean, there was one year where he got the single game record for threes made for the Celtics. I remember that game. He had like 10 or 11 threes. Like he was that one night, he was God from
I remember
3.
that.
But
I do
he's been
remember that.
chasing that. He's been chasing that ever since. So, I mean, again, I could keep going on and torturing Lakers fans, but the bottom line is like this team is not built
It's
for anything.
it.
Like, I mean, when you had Doncic and Reeves holding down that backcourt, there was like you could talk yourself into all right, Luka can carry, Austin Reeves will be the sidekick, LeBron will give you 25 when need be, and you could live with that. That would be a solid second round exit at least.
Yeah.
But now the Rockets are fully healthy, and even though they may hate each other, and that's very valid, like chemistry may be a very much an issue with this team, but Kevin Durant only cares about basketball. You could give a crap at anything else. He's putting 30 on you. He's putting 30 on you at least 3 games this season series.
And I need to pull up
And
this record, but Kevin Durant currently has more wins over LeBron in the playoffs. So I do see that. So like again, and that's on good teams from both of them. Now this is literally an old LeBron, and the Rockets at least have other players.
I mean, Alfred Sagoon is always going to be a V. He's a mini Sabonis slash Jokic, where he'll give you 20 points. He averages 9 boards. He gives you 6 assists, a steal, and a block. All fantastic stats. He's gonna look like a menace to DeAndre Ayton when most teams actually have elite bigs will shoo Sengun away like a fly. And then Ahmed Thompson's locking anyone down that is in that backcourt. So
Yeah.
have fun trying to have
And,
any kind of spacing.
and their
And then
14
yeah,
matchup
CGs.
and the 14 matchup against each other in the playoffs. Kevin Durant's up 9-5.
I'll give him credit where it's more of LeBron's late years is when Kevin Durant got him. Like, because most of the time they were in different conferences, really. I mean, the only time they were in the same conference, really in the latter half of his career when he was on
Yeah,
the Lakers anyways. So it's
right.
like even with Cleveland when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, which I mean, again, you gotta count those Warriors wins when
But
he was on the greatest team to ever be assembled. So
yeah.
it's tough. It's very tough. But give me Reed Shepard. Give me Jabari Smith. Don't give
Hey,
me Jake
don't
Laravia.
give Kevin
Don't
Durant
give me
Jabari
Jake
Smith.
Laravia. Oh God. I mean, like, look, Jabari Smith will sit in the corner like a good boy. He'll shoot when he needs to, and then you'll put his weight when need be. Just get out of Durant's way. He's gonna cook LeBron into retirement. Plain and simple.
To finish up this playoffs, we just mentioned the last matchup in the East is Cleveland versus Toronto, the 4 and 5 seed. So now to wrap up this episode, as I said, we're gonna talk about the play-in. So West, you got the 9 and 10, the Clippers versus Warriors. I think the Clippers win that game. Now I want to say easily. It's always the Curry, but the Clippers have looked good in stretches with Mathurin over
You're
there and
already
Kawhi
jumping
healthy.
ahead of them. You're already jumping ahead of Wednesday, but I'll let you rock. We'll work in reverse order. Clippers and Warriors are the very last game of like
Hey,
these first four.
I'm just looking at the matchups how there is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, like that is a big ticket one of them all. So
Clippers and
okay.
Warriors, I do think the Clippers win. Like I said, the Clippers have looked good with everybody healthy, with them having Mathurin, which I really do like Benedict Mathurin, man. I understand why we got rid of him, and if it works out and we get a top 5 pick, okay. But if it doesn't work out, ooh, that's not gonna look good at all. But what?
No,
And they
no,
got
not
Darius
at all.
Garland, Mathurin, Kawhi. That's beating the Warriors. That's just gonna beat them.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna like I don't think Curry is even like playable really. Like he's been very scarcely available this time of year, this year particular. And again, he's getting up there in age, even with his immortal game that he has. I do think Clippers somehow miraculously will probably win that
And
game.
that would put them against. That will put the Clippers against the Thunder first round. Funny enough, and then in
Uh,
the the other West game is the Suns in Trailblazers. Now,
oof.
granted, funny enough, I could see the Trailblazers out of nowhere pulling this game out and making it into the playoffs. But Devin Booker's winning. Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, unfortunately, has had a good year. Dylan Brooks has had a really good year over there in Portland and Phoenix this year. Jalen Green's
Yeah.
done okay, so like I could see
I
it.
rem
But
I
yeah,
was talking very ill on the Suns team going into this year. I mean, again, this is not a likable team. When you put Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, Jalen Green, all on the same team, things typically don't aren't supposed to work out well.
yeah,
But through the power of
did enough.
being menaces and having someone like Devin Booker, who
Hmm.
no matter who's around him is going to ball out and be a fantastic scorer. I don't think the Trailblazers has enough to work on them. But then it comes down to right. I think we come to agreement with the Clippers going ahead. Suns versus Warriors. Do the Suns go through, or and the Warriors fall out, or what do we think?
Well, the Suns of War. Well, Suns the Clippers and Warriors are 9 and 10. So if the Warriors lose, they're out completely. Right, that's why I got that wrong. I got this wrong.
Well,
So
no,
if the
no, it was the
Suns,
7, 8th game. So yeah,
mm,
7/8 seed game. Whoever wins that plays the 1 seed. Then the loser plays the winner of the 9th and 10th
Yeah,
game to determine
which
the
means
8th seed.
that means the Trailblazers at this point will be facing the Clippers. Honestly, I think the Clippers should win that.
Oh, you have the Trailblazers over the Suns, you're saying? I thought we were just talking about the Suns. I
Well,
thought we were in agreement with the Suns.
yeah, so that's what I was saying. I say the Suns win over the Trailblazers and they move on. So that's saying the Trailblazers are the 8 seed. The Clippers and Warriors are the 9 and 10 seed, funny enough. So that means the Trailblazers. Yeah. The
on
Trailblazers would-
ESPN.com, I see otherwise. ESPN, I
Oh.
see Warriors, Clippers, 7th, 8th seed. I see
Interesting.
Portland, Phoenix, 9th, 10th seed. Let me check
See,
the standings again.
funny
'cause
enough,
I feel like
I'm looking at NBA.com. NBA.com have the Phoenix and Trailblazers 7 and 8.
What
And
the hell?
hey, don't trust ESPN, bro.
No,
ESPN's
no, no,
tripping.
no. ESPN, yeah, ESPN's crazy because they have the Suns, Trailblazers, Clippers, Warriors, and then on the schedule they flip the title. Yeah, ESPN's a really dog crap piece of media, huh? All right, my fault. I'm so sorry. So yeah,
I'm telling you, ESPN.
yeah,
ESPN
okay.
And they said the Warriors. No. They gotta be 8 seed. We can't count Curry out. So,
dude, that genuinely broke my mind. ESPN.com is flat wrong with the schedule. They totally like. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no. I you know what? Actually, I'm reading it wrong because it's actually on the bottom. I was reading above, and it's like
trust
you know
me,
they have the
that's how
Miami and
NBA has
Charlotte
it
and
above
then
too.
underline.
NBA
Yeah,
has
that's
them
weird.
above too. They have it weird. But yeah, so I have Phoenix winning,
Okay.
which means they
Okay,
would
so
go
Phoenix
and
8
face.
seed.
They would go and face the 2 seed. So they're gonna be the lower seed technically. So Phoenix versus San Antonio.
7 seed.
And-
Yeah, they'll be the
and-
7 seed. They'll take San Antonio. Okay.
And then you have Trailblazers losing and the Clippers winning. So the Clippers facing
Okay.
the Trailblazers. I still have the Clippers beating the Trailblazers and having to face the Thunder in that 8 spot still.
Yeah, I think we're in lockstep about that. I don't think we have to go much further. Trailblazers are overall an underwhelming team anyway, so like it's amazing they even got this far, in my opinion. So yeah,
Now-
I think that's a good pencil in for those.
Wrap it up. East. Now this is the more exciting thing for me is the East. Not the 7 and 8 seed game. I actually don't care about the game. The 76ers and the Magic, I don't really care. Funny enough, I don't care, but I actually don't know who's going to win that game. Couldn't tell you. Because 76ers are missing Joel Embiid. The Magic just got embarrassed by a C team Celtics. But like,
I mean, you're not alone. If I am to trust ESPN, they're saying tickets are as low as $20 in Philly to go to that game. So you're not alone in saying you do not care about this game. But me personally, I look at this game.
That's all I say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I mean, Magic are gonna die by their lack of ability to stretch the court. And clearly their defense is not capable enough to beat bench players, so I can't reliably put them. Even without Embiid, Paul George is going to just have lunch, especially when he's been healthy. Like usually this time of year, Paul George is beaten and broken, but he's actually healthy thanks to having that drug test fail during the season. And again, Max has been averaging 28 points. Yeah, exactly. And then Maxi's averaging 28, been fantastic star, and then BJ Edgecombe, he's kind of snuck under the normal like rookie of the year talks because of how good Khan and Cooper Flag have been. But BJ Edgecombe started this season like a damn near 30 ball against the Celtics and consistently has been fantastic. So I still think the Sixers still make it through, regardless.
So that puts 76ers versus Celtics. That's fun. And then you got Hornets and Heat. Let me tell you, I want this Hornets team to be so good, man. I do. I haven't beaten the Heat. The Heat, whatever. Unless Bam goes up there and drops 83 again, which I'd be shitty. The Hornets should win. I think the Hornets should win. This should beat the Heat. The Hornets should go on and beat the Magic in the second round and go into the playoffs. I so badly want to see them win a series too, but like against the number 1 Pistons and Kate Cunningham gets rest too, that's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. It just won't.
No. I mean, look, I'm willing to ride or die for the Hornets too. Like, if we're gonna just say screw the analysis and just go straight into like who we want to get in there. I know we've been riding hard on the Hornets, and the matchup predictor according to ESPN has 73% overwhelming over the Heat, and for good reasons. So I mean, again, Norm Powell is your only all-star as a Heat. Bam Kobe is done after his 83-point game. Bam, Kobe is good on his impact. And then Tyler Hero kind of came in late. 'Cause I know he started on the injury list and hasn't been. Oh, he's been all right,
Right.
but like he's had better seasons. So like I don't know if you can reliably trust Tyler Hero in this series, or at least in this game in particular. When you need one game, like so, I could agree with you. Hornets go through, and then I think the Hornets will just ride the momentum and just knock out the Magics. Again, I
Mhm.
already had my soliloquy on the Magic. They're done for. They had their chance. They were steady in that playoff run all year and then crashed out because they just don't have. I mean, they get points, but for some reason, despite them not outscoring teams, they can't defend either, apparently.
Which I was
So
saying, they're supposed to be a good defending team, and they just
yeah, I mean, if you can't score, especially if you can't shoot threes, and you can't defend reliably, how am I in any good faith put you to beat anyone? And maybe I'm
yeah.
very much a prisoner of the moment, but like even if they do snatch that 8 seed, they're not beating this Pistons team. I'd much rather watch the Hornets and all the excitement around them in that 8 seed than watch a floundering Magic team maybe get swept out.
And did you
Yeah.
see that Hornets Pistons game at the end of the season? That was a heated game. They were bickering back and forth. Low-key, almost a fight broke out in the middle of the game. I need a series of that. I just do.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I
Yeah,
need to
because
see LaMelo and Concanoopul chuck up threes. Again, that's why they're going to beat the Magic. The Magic can't. Like you said, the Magic can't shoot, and LaMelo and Concanoopul are 1 and 2 of most 3-pointers made this season. That's that's a easy. You can't beat that if you're the Magic. So,
yeah, I mean, it's threes are more valuable than twos, and if you can't miss your threes, then you're kind of you're golden essentially. Because like, I mean, like we've seen the live or die by the three work a lot of times, and we've seen teams get decimated because they live or die by the three. I think the Hornets can do enough to really be like, we're gonna go into the actual playoffs. Everybody's like, oh, watch out, man. The Hornets can make a run. And then it's like a 5-6 game series, like 6 games at best, 5 games. Still goes to the Pistons, but still, I do think the Hornets have been very well, a
mhm.
very fun team this year, all things considered. So I'm rooting for them, no doubt.
Oh, I am too. And that is going to wrap up this episode of the Pull the Chair podcast. Stay tuned, as with the playoff schedule happening, we might start changing a little bit of the schedule, just depending on how the games are going. First round shouldn't be too big of an idea, but definitely once we start getting to conference finals and finals, we might change some days, or we might just go live later if the game is going on, so we can kind of do a live reaction to a game. So just stay tuned for that. Like I said, that probably won't be for another week when the conference finals starts happening. But stay tuned, as we're gonna stay up to date at all the playoffs. Obviously, we see what we're rooting for, and we'll break it down more next week as we know the seeding out the play in and what we have going. So stay tuned, 9 o'clock Mondays on the Grit Network for the Pull the Chair podcast.
Thanks for watching.